Welcome to Smart Stewards Money Podcast, financial conversations for millennials and adults. On this podcast, we'll be sharing practical tips and insight on personal finance for both millennials and adults. We'll be bringing in experts and guests from various fields to share their knowledge and experiences on personal and business finance. Of course, we'll be addressing common misconceptions and answering your burning questions about money management. Our goal is to equip you with the knowledge and tools you need to make informed financial decisions about how to make, manage, multiply money, build wealth, and achieve your financial goals. My name is Sola Adesajin, and I'm going to be your host on this journey. You're in for an amazing time with us. So sit back today, grab a cup of coffee, and let's dive into the world of personal finance together. Hello everyone, good day, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching this from. I'm excited to be coming your way again today with another edition of our Money Podcast. I have a very, very important guest with me in the studio today, and I just can't wait to dive into the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Mr. Kalu Aja. Right. Hi, Kalu. How you doing? I am excited that we're doing this like live, in flesh and in blood. Yeah. All right, guys. Well done, Kalu. It's been an interesting time for us in Nigeria and around the world. I know you've been in Lagos for a few days and you have interacted with a lot of people. I'm sure you know what people are saying about the state of the economy. And of course, I know the passion that you have about, personal finance, about the economy working and all of that. What would be your very first word to the people who are listening to this and who are saying, Kalu, Shola, I'm just tired. I don't understand what's happening. The personal economy is sinking. I don't know what the government is doing. Just give us an overview and how we can, start to embrace hope and what we can start to do.
Well, I hope I can give some clarity to what's happening, right? So, the main thing is that we've overprinted and we are in a serious situation right now in Nigeria where we have very, very high inflation. And that high inflation is being driven by food prices. Food prices are very, very expensive. That has not driven inflation. That's where we are right now. Also, we're not exporting enough crude oil from Nigeria. So you have low exports and high cost of food in the country. This has driven inflation to record highs, for a very, very long time. Now, this was in the past administration. This is what happened. The current guys now are trying to fix it by raising interest rates. If you raise interest rates, you want to make money expensive. That can attack inflation a bit. So growth is secondary now to beating inflation. So unfortunately, Shola, it pains me to tell you that there might be more pain before you see light at the end of the tunnel, because what the measures want to take into effect now will attack inflation. They want to bring your prices down. And in bringing your prices down, it's going to affect growth. That's the bad side. The good side is just that this gives us maybe a lot of opportunities to re-examine our own personal budgets, our own personal assets, and start to take away things that are not important. If you have your assets that you're not using, try to monetize them. If you have debt that you are owing and you have interest payable on them, try to pay it down quickly because rates are going to go high. In terms of income, try to earn more. Expenses, try to spend less. Very, very basic, simple, everyday solutions. That's what we're doing right now.
Well, I get it. I know that, macroeconomic policies or issues might seem inundating to a lot of people. Like, the news is happening. Like, I don't care. Just put on African magic. I keep telling people that this is an age where you can't afford to say, I don't know maths. I don't have a knack for, maths. I don't know. I don't like figures. We all must like figures. We all must understand to an extent and start to embrace financial literacy. So I'll ask 2 questions in one. And one of the things that I also say is that everybody operates under 3 economies: personal economy, national economy, because we have people watching this from outside of Nigeria. So you have people in the UK, in the US, and Canada. So your national economy is the economy of the country you're located in, and of course the global economy. Whatever happens around the world affects you. So my question is, we'll just, sort of drill down a bit into what you already said, our personal economy. I know you said make more money, and then reduce your expenses. But what are, three succinct things you can tell us to do in terms of making more money? For example, for those who are employed, for those who are business owners, or whatever it is people are doing, how can you actively expand your income in a time like this?
Yeah, for the individuals, it has to be investing in yourself. If you can invest in new skills, then you can monetize those skills. So as a person, if you can go back to school, not like a BSc or MSc for now, but to learn a skill. If you're a video guy, learn a new skill in videoing that you can then use to earn more from your existing clients or new clients. That's very, very helpful. If you're working in finance, look at something like the CFA. If you can get that down on your CV, opens up new doors for employment, even a wage increase for you. So you're trying to monetize yourself in the first instance, right? Of course, if you're a business owner, you want to start to monetize more things. Let's not be a business owner, an asset holder. If you have a house with 3 rooms or 4 rooms, okay, do you use all of them? Is it possible you can do an Airbnb in one? If you have a BQ, can you convert on the Airbnb? If you have 2 cars, can one be an Uber? Yeah, the car gets depreciated faster, but you are able to monetize that car that you think when you're just parked for your kids to drive. So you monetize yourself, you monetize your assets as an individual, also for the business. This is time for tax breaks. It's time to get smarter. If it's not contributing directly to the bottom line, we don't want to do it. So it's bare local entrepreneurship, because again, like we said, rates are going to go up. So the cheapest way you can save money is not to owe money to anyone, especially if you're a business guy, right? Because if you owe money, you're going to pay more in terms of interest. So I would say it's very difficult, but if you have to sell that assets to pay off your bank loans, you might think of doing that now before those rate hikes actually start to kick in. Because those rate hikes will take away your profits. They're going to be severe because NPR, the monthly policy rate, has gone up from 18.75 all the way now to 8.75. So it's going to be material. So it's simple things again I'm talking about. Having a budget, knowing where your money is going to, so that you can remove things that are not necessary. We have non-discretionary expenses and discretionary expenses. We want to do less discretionary expenses, which means less t-shirt that we don't need, less travel that we don't need, right? And do more of expenses that contribute to the bottom line. We're in a tough spot right now. We're in austerity right now. So the individual budgets have got to reflect that right now. So I would say make money by spending less. That's one way to do it before you even start to monetize the existing assets that you have. Then, of course, your investments. That's going to bring money. But that's a different topic entirely.
Right. Brilliant. How about for those who might think of starting businesses? Because, in seasons like this, you see a lot of workshops and people are saying, start a business. Do you think it's a viable way? Do you think it's a good season or a good time to start businesses? Do you think businesses that are started in a time and season like this will actually flourish and, excel?
I think businesses flourish when they see opportunity. It doesn't matter if it's a good boom period or a bad recessionary period. If you have an idea that you can scale and charge people for it, you have a business. So look at it this way. If people used to drive their cars, and now fuel prices have gone up, more people are going to be willing to go into a Uber. But most of the Ubers you see now might be, say, ramshackle, probably. So, okay, what can you do with Uber? Do you have to own a car to make money from Uber? Maybe not. You could do an advertisement, maybe in Uber. What do Uber folks need? Can you do the camera? What can you do around that concept of gig economy that people are going into? So, like, during the recession, don't look for the gold. Sell the shovels that we use for the gold. So, you're looking for opportunities that people are downsizing their expenses, and you're offering deals. The budget carriers are around like Ryanair because people cannot afford to fly all the time on regular airlines. That sort of thing. And that's what you want to do. You want to look at the economy and see how you can take advantage of this need for folks to reduce spending. What are people spending money on, and what do they need to spend less on? That's an opportunity for you. So you get into that space, and if you can deliver that, if people are spending more on food, and you have a way of getting food across to people at a cheaper price, that's a business. So businesses are based on opportunity. and not really a recession or depression.
I love it. That is so profound. So what you're saying in essence is identify the problems you can solve and provide very practical solutions, and money will come.
Yes.
Right. So whether there's austerity or not, you can just make money happen for yourself by solving problems. Now, the second main question that I would like to ask is about financial literacy.
Yeah.
When we were younger, when I was growing up, nobody was teaching us financial literacy.
Yeah.
I qualified as a chartered accountant about 23 years ago. Better part of my career, I was always broke, miserable, and yes. But I started to teach financial literacy. I'm certified and all of these things. And I know there's an increased awareness about financial literacy, but you still have a lot of people who are not aware, who are not financially literate. And I know some people are looking at this video, watching this video today, what's financial literacy? And that is what we do as Smart Stewards. Smart Stewards Academy, we teach financial literacy. What would you say to those who are watching, those who would share these videos with their friends about the importance of financial literacy in achieving their financial goals and attaining financial prosperity? Is it a cliche? Is it tell us about it?
Yeah, I mean, Alan Greenspan, I think he was the second longest serving Federal Reserve chairman. He made a comment that the lack of financial intelligence was the number one source of problems in the US, something like that. When you look at that statement, it's the guy that was the Fed chairman during the Gulf Wars, during 9/11, and he says the most significant threat to America is the lack of financial knowledge in America. What did he mean? So if you look at 07, 08, the world went into a global recession. What caused that recession? Americans were buying homes they could not afford. They were selling their homes called adjustable mortgage homes that pay a very, very low mortgage when you buy the house, but after 6 months, the loan recalculates to a real mortgage. So many Americans thought it was a deal. Oh, I can get this house without income and pay a quarter of mine. Oh, I'll take it. So they took those homes, and once the real price hit in after 6 months, they couldn't pay for the home. So they basically left those homes, non-recourse loans, and they walked away. As those loans piled up, those were banks that financed those homes. So the bank's balance sheet became deteriorated to the extent that they were carrying toxic assets. And of course, this money market in America failed. That then caused a global recession to spread from Americans buying homes they could not afford because they did not understand what adjustable rate mortgages were. And that's the point. Financial literacy is not just you, because you are a part of the macro economy. Your spending is GDP. Your expenditure is GDP. Your imports and your exports are GDP. Your consumer spending and all that, investments, all GDP. So whatever you do as an individual, as a micro, adds up to the macro. So if you don't understand what credit is and you take bad credit, of course, what's going to happen down the line is that your credit combined with other credit that don't understand what's going on cause a global recession, real life. So that's what we want to watch.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard what Kalu said about the importance of financial literacy. Now, if you are not aware, you don't know what is happening, you are not in a good position to take the necessary and the appropriate decisions. So when we say embrace financial literacy, which is a combination of many things, having the right mindset, the right knowledge set, and the right skill set, there's no better time, to embrace financial literacy. And that takes me to the next question, Kalu. We're talking about investments. Earlier on, you did mention that, of course, people can invest to make more money. At the most basic level, of course, this is not any specific financial advice. What are some of the things that people can invest in generally, beginners and those who maybe in time?
And of course, what are the parameters around which to invest? So why am I investing? Let me take this as an example. Let's say I want to invest for my retirement, or I want to grow into a fund into my retirement. That's why I'm investing. What are my parameters? Probably, maybe I'm an ethical investor. I don't want to invest in, say, alcohol or all that. So those are my parameters. Once you get those parameters down, it's sort of now to build a portfolio, what we call do asset allocation to match your objective. If you're investing for a longer period, equities, of course, have to be in the mix, i.e. overweight in equities, because equities over time tend to allow you to earn more than inflation, especially look at the US market and most Western market. If it's a shorter duration, you're looking more of fixed income, maybe bonds, treasury bills, because even though you want to earn more, your duration is fixed, so you are capped in that sort of that you cannot go do maybe like 5 years investment if you just want to take your money out in 1 month. You're going to do like a bond or treasury bill. So the key important thing for you is, why are you investing in the parameters? Longer term, if you are younger, equities is just right within your sphere right there. If you are getting close to your retirement age, when you like to retire, you should be overweight fixed income. Could it be bonds or treasury bills, but overweight fixed income, right? Essentially. So if you then come to your specific question, what are the various investments? You will have to do those investments in terms of their risk to you. How much risk you are willing to take. If you are willing to take risk, what I mean risk, the volatility of the returns, which means if I invest in item A, I'm okay in quotes if the prices go up or down, as long as ultimately it will be up at my final destination price. So the volatility itself is what you're worried about. If you can't take volatility, that's fixed income again for you. If you're able to take volatility, that's equities for you. So the point I'm making is it's goal-based investing. Whatever you are told, invest in agriculture, invest in diamonds, invest in gold, it's really about your objectives. What is your objective? How long do you want to invest? What is your risk profile? If you answer these 3 questions very well and truthfully, it sort of already builds itself out. So if I'm a long-term investor that does not want to risk, I'm going to buy a bond, because I know if I buy a bond, I'm guaranteed my return in a period. But my bond return beat inflation, we cannot say. It doesn't usually, but we cannot say. If I want to do a long-term investment and I'm not concerned with volatility and I want to beat inflation, then equities looks like a better play than fixed income. So it's really that you have an answer, you have to supply the question. These bonds, basically the bonds are long-term and safe. Equities are long-term, but they fluctuate and may beat inflation. So you ask the question, okay, do I want to do a long-term investment? I do equities, or I do bonds, or I do property. So it's to list all the investment outlets that you have. I mean, apart from say gold and cryptos are all asset classes, but you want to invest for using goal based. What is your goal? They look for the asset class, then you attach that. Any financial planner or any expert can basically help you build out that asset allocation. Once you do that asset allocation, then you review it annually and make sure it's up to date. And that's essentially what you do.
I'm tempted to ask, because I listened to you once and you gave like an asset allocation scenario for a 30-year-old. Can you give me that in just 1 minute?
Yeah, I mean, if you're 30 years old, you've got about, maybe you want to retire when you're 60, you've got like a 30 years to invest. I would do 30%, say, in Nigerian equities, right? Because I want to get that growth in Nigerian equities. Now we'll just say 30% in foreign equities. So I'm diversifying away from Naira into the US, come to get that diversification also in equities. That's 60%. Then my 20%, I want to do property, because property is fixed income, but it's also not equity. It's a bit more stable. That's like my insurance. So I've got 60% equities, 20% in fixed income. Then my 10% is when I'm not going to do my fixed income. So I'm going to do either a bond or a dollar cash investment or a treasury bill. So it's going to be that fixed investment element there. My last 10%, I'm looking at gold or commodities. Gold or commodities there. The final 5%, I'm going to go all out and just say do a crypto, Bitcoin, just simply because I want to just be in that space and it's 5%. That's going to be my tip of my triangle, more or less. Yeah.
Nice. Talk to a financial advisor, get financial literacy. It's called personal finance because most times the dynamics are personal. Like that's just like a guide. Don't go saying, oh, Kalu said I should do 5% crypto, and then you go deep dive into that.
Yeah,
so it's just all educational, right? But I know that there's some people in Nigeria would say, the dollars up now is 1,000 for 1,517. Should I buy dollars? I get that question all the time. I don't know if you get the same question.
Yeah, I do get that. People are trying to figure out if you should hold Naira or hold dollars. I mean, I'll tell you for free that the Naira is no longer considered a store of value. So we got the volatility. Even if it comes back down, it's volatile and it's a currency. So I would say currency you're not going to spend the next 90 days, be careful about holding the Naira. If it's invested, that's fine. But just holding raw Naira is very, very fluctuating. The value of the dollar is based on the value of our oil exports. That's really it. If we export more crude oil, which means that if we pump out more output and we sell more NPC, the Naira gains value. So instead of looking at the Naira exchange value, look at the oil exports numbers and the price of crude oil. Once that starts to go up, the Naira will gain value by default. Maybe that's what we'll focus on. Also, remittances. Remittances increase, Naira gains value. If exports increase, Naira gains value. But if imports go up, Naira will also lose value. So focus on the inputs of the exchange rate on the exchange rate itself. That might be a good way to look at it.
I love it. Very succinct. So you decide what works best for you. And he said something very profound. If you're not using it in 90 days, be careful how you're holding it. Final question. Insurance is not something that we embrace a lot in Nigeria. Either for life insurance or non-life insurance. I mean, those who are abroad, I know the emphasis they place on insurance and, how they, work out all of those things. But in Nigeria, Kalu, do you think insurance is something that we need to be more interested in? And I'll tell you what I'm asking. In one of our courses at the Smart Stewards Academy, we call it the Fit to Fly Financial Plan course. Take people through 4 weeks and we examine about 7 pillars of financial planning. And insurance is part of it. Most times when we do that course, we see that people who are outside of the country are more interested in that module because they feel, yes, well, Nigerians don't know insurance. It's a waste of money, either life or what would you tell Nigerians looking at, watching this video about insurance?
Yeah. So when we do our investment talks ourselves, right? Insurance is something we do even before you invest. We look at it as a milestone that you have to accomplish before you even start to invest. So the simple answer is this. If you have dependents, then you must, note the word, must buy life insurance. Because you're not insuring your life, you're insuring your income should you pass away. So your dependents have that income of, say, 3 or 5 times in the bag. So you must buy life insurance to ensure loss of income to your dependents. If you don't have a dependent, that's fine. You don't need life insurance. But once you have a dependent, don't buy life insurance. But let's now go deeper into insurance. Annuities, variable annuities, fixed annuities are also a very, very important asset class for retirees. Now, what that means is that with an annuity, you give the insurance company a lump sum of money, and they give you a payment, or they pay you a quote-unquote pension or fixed sum for the rest of your life, or a sum set in time. What you are buying is insurance against running out of money when you retire. So if you retire and you're giving 15 million, you could say, I'm going to put it in a bank account and then draw down maybe 30,000 naira in a month, and it will last me for a long time. What if it doesn't last you for a very long time? What if the money is over and someone dupes you and it's all gone? So you can go to the insurance company, buy an annuity. The insurance company will promise you that, hey, based on what you signed, we will pay you X amount for X number of period. You can do a certain period, or you can do a payment for life period, right? And that's what we call annuities. So the Pension Reform Act does allow you to buy an annuity. You can also add your funds to a lump sum and buy an annuity, but it's an essential part of your life, of your financial plan. I've seen people take a life policy on their mortgage. So they say, if my mortgage is worth $500,000, they take a life insurance cover of $500,000. Why? So they pass on, the insurance company basically pays for their house, and then their dependents will own that house free and clear. Wow. So that's the way you can also use insurance as part of your financial plan.
Wow, so good. Profound. I love it. I mean, this is one of the ways you explaining it just makes life insurance more desirable and more necessary to execute. Thank you so much, Kalu. This has been interesting. I want you to talk about your book and how people can get your book.
Thanks. So we I didn't write a book. It's called Let's Talk About Your Money. It's about 205 pages. It's chapterized, which means you can read it just chapter by chapter and get all that information. This is basically my years of experience working with rich folks, working with the pension industry, working in asset management, private banking, and stockbroking and all that. So it's packed with lots of information. I want it to be a doing book. So it teaches you, but you want to go out and do it. Because investing is a verb, right? It's a verb. You have to learn the knowledge, toward an investor. What would you do is to write a book that you could buy and use and learn from. Right? Keep it your reference material to it. It's very, very good. The price in Nigeria is still the same. Try to make sure it still stays the same. So it's affordable. It's Naira. It's still the same as affordable. We want to get it. I do recommend it. Not just because I wrote it, but I think it will bless you. It's all the books I've read, what I liked, simple, English, direct to the point, actionable. That's what we have here. So,
and it's on Amazon. It's everywhere, all around the world. And I mean, since we are talking about books, I do this all the time. Get the 40 Figure Rules for your journey to financial freedom. Simple, in Kalu's word, it's a to-do book, like A to Z things, for your personal finance. Just things that you can do every day, basic things, especially in a time like this where people are complaining about, their finances. The 40 Figure Rules will help you jumpstart immediately your journey to financial freedom. So A, accountability, B, start with budgeting, and on like that. Ladies, gentlemen, thank you for listening to us. It's been an amazing time with Kalu. I have learned a whole set of new things as always. And I hope that when we come your way the next time, you would have a lot of amazing success stories with your personal finances. Keep winning. My name is Sola Adesajin.